Russia wants the Syrian government and opposition to agree on launching a constitutional reform process of up to 18 months, followed by early presidential elections, according to a draft document. Here is the text of the 8-point proposal, titled Approach to the Settlement of the Syrian Crisis, drawn up by Moscow before international talks on Syria this week. 1. List ISIL / Daesh / as a terrorist organization by the UNSC / UN Security Council / 2. Agree on the additional list of terrorist groups. 3. Adopt a UNSC resolution in support of the efforts against ISIL / Daesh / and other terrorist groups, providing legal framework for cooperation of all participants of counter-terrorist actions among themselves and with respective governments. 4. Block channels of supply of ISIL / Daesh / and other terrorist groups, stop illegal trade in oil by ISIL / Daesh in accordance with UNSCR 2199, prevent control of oil fields by terrorists. 5. When considering the issue of a ceasefire in Syria, operations against ISIL / Daesh and other terrorist groups must be excluded. 6. Launch under the auspices of the UN Special Envoy political process on the basis of the Geneva Communiqué of June 30, 2012 between the Syrian government and a united delegation of the opposition groups. The composition of the opposition delegation has to be agreed beforehand, including on the basis of readiness of respective groups to share the goals of preventing terrorists from coming to power in Syria and of ensuring sovereignty, territorial integrity, and political independence of Syria, as well as secular and democratic character of the state. 7. The Syrian parties at the proposed conference are invited to agree on the following steps. Launch a constitutional reform, to take up to 18 months, to guarantee sustainable security and fair balance of interests, rights, and obligations of all ethnic and confessional groups in structures of powers and state institutions. For the purpose, to form a constitutional commission to embrace the entire spectrum of the Syrian society, including domestic and outside opposition. The President of Syria will not chair the Constitutional Commission, a candidature of its head will be agreed by all the participants. Draft constitution will be submitted to a popular referendum. After its approval, an early presidential elections will be called. Parliamentary elections planned to take place in the spring of 2016, will be, in the light of a constitutional reform, postponed and will be held simultaneously with the presidential election on the basis of the new constitution of Syria. Syrian government will be formed on the basis of a party/electoral bloc which receives a majority of the popular vote and will possess full executive authority. Popularly elected President of Syria will have the functions of Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, control of special services and foreign policy. 8. Convene a Syria Support Group /SSG/ to help prepare the conference and assist Syrian parties during its work in reaching a mutual consent. The SSG could include members of P5 / the US, Britain, France, Russia and China / Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Iran, Egypt, Jordan, Oman, Qatar, UAE, Iraq, Lebanon, Germany, Italy, UN Special Envoy, Arab League, and Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the European Union.